everyone. Hope everybody's doing well. So today's Good Friday, so I think we all have to be good. Now the sun's shining, so that's good. I have another interview, so that's another good. I'm working on my Zoom room, which is a work in progress, so it's not so good because I know I'm hiding the sign. Anyway, now time for the interview. I'm really pleased to welcome to the show musician and entrepreneur, Troy Toma. Welcome to the show, Troy.
Thank you so much for having me on your show.
My pleasure, for sure. So are you a guitarist?
Yeah, I do teach guitar. I own my own music school.
Nice.
So yeah, I've been teaching just over 20 years, and I have a music school located in just outside of Vancouver. It's a town called Langley, and I've been teaching guitar for just over 20 years, but I've had my own music school for just over 8 years now.
Right. No, okay, so as a performer, are you a solo performer or are you with a band?
Both.
Oh.
Yeah, I do band stuff and I do solo. As an artist, you're always growing, and getting out there to play live is a means of how to kind of express your talents, right? And share that with an audience. So being an artist, you don't want to limit yourself to just having, being with a band or just being solo. So I think it's that diversity that really grows you as an artist. So of course, when I'm writing music, generally, I'm always thinking, can I perform this live with a band, or can I perform this live solo acoustic? So those kind of thoughts are always in my mind as well when I'm writing. So I've always kind of started out doing solo acoustic on my own, and that was kind of, generating income, and as well as teaching guitar. So that helped me build my chops. So that's what I'm really comfortable with as well. But, being out there with a band, it's a different kind of energy, right? You're interacting with other members, there's a lot more going on visually, and different layers of musicianship, right? So yeah, either or, doing it with a band or a solo acoustic is a great way to just express yourself.
For sure. Now, whether you're playing solo or with a band, are you always playing original material?
A mixture of both, always just a mixture of both. Again, starting out, playing covers, like Brown Eyed Girl, Sweet Caroline, some Eric Clapton, mixing it all up. But whatever I'm writing, I'm kind of always, again, in the back of my mind, trying to how can I make my songs blend, with this type of music, right? So if I'm playing, one of my originals, it doesn't stick out like a sore thumb type thing, you know what I mean? Yeah. So that's kind of another thing that I've always kept in the back of my mind. And that's when people see my shows, they're always like, if I am doing covers and originals, that's one thing that I get a lot is they say, wow, your originals just really blend with all these other songs that you're actually covering.
So then you don't have one particular style, obviously, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's it too, right? So, and that's a big part of, I think, is, yeah, I just don't, as far as being a musician, some people have that one particular style and they have that one particular genre. But for me, I love playing country now. It's a big part of who I am, but I did start off playing rock and blues, and I still have a little bit of those elements in my music. And I still want to keep that sort of edgy rock mixture with the country, you know what I mean? So it kind of has that broad spectrum, and it's not just kind of confined to one sound.
Now, pre-COVID, were you touring at all?
Yeah, we were doing quite a bit of shows all around town. And yeah, as soon as COVID hit, I mean, it just pretty much just cut it right off, right? So it was a little bit of a shock to the live part of who you are, because obviously as a musician, that's what we do, right? That's what we live for, is being in front of an audience and playing music for people. So it was, like I said, it was a bit of a shock to have to sort of almost be forced to step back from that element of being a musician. But if you're a musician, you're a musician, right? Yes. You're always growing, you're always wanting to create. So in that time, I was still reaching out to lots of people, and I was still writing quite a bit, and stuff like that, and still teaching. And I had to teach a lot over Zoom for a short period of time. So Yeah, I mean, and now thankfully that we're back out there and doing the live thing again. So that's always nice.
A lot of people told me that musicians, especially that I've spoken to, that during COVID, they did a lot more writing. They
Yes,
had that more time to do that.
that's right. Yeah, yeah, for
Imagine
sure.
it was the same for you,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Did a lot of writing, reaching out to different artists that I don't normally do, you know, just because you're kind of cooped up and you just want to express that element of creativity. You know, if you can't do it live, then you got to do it one way or another, being an artist. And you know, you're always kind of expressing whatever is going around in your environment a lot of times too. So you want to be able to express that and create that through music.
Right. Now, as a music teacher, this is another thing I'm always curious about when I talk to anybody who's a teacher, whatever genre that is, right?
Mm-hmm.
You must have those, I would think, you have those students who just shine. And
Yeah. A lot of times, you know, the parents will come to me or people will come to me. They're like, "Do you do group lessons?" And I'm like, "I've tried it, and I honestly don't agree or like that at all." And I don't knock it. Whoever wants to do that type of thing, you know, that's power to them. But the thing is, everybody moves at their own pace and everybody has their own strengths and weaknesses, right? So you can't address that if you're doing a group thing. You're just, okay, well, here's a bunch of chords, you know. So yeah, I like the one-on-one because then that allows me to, okay, well, this is what these particular elements of your growth as a guitar player and a musician, these are what you want to really kind of start working on, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we can hone in on and build them like as a muscle, you know, and keep strengthening them. But yeah, with a group thing, it's really hard to kind of pinpoint that and get that, you know, that growth out of an individual that way.
Yeah, I was just thinking about when my kids were young and both of them wanted to take the organ for what learning.
Okay, nice.
But it was in a group setting and it really wasn't fair to some of the students because some right or move ahead, but they're held back by the slowest one, and it's
exactly.
So it's not really fair.
No, yeah, that's just it too, right? And I mean, again, everybody's got their own taste, you know, and even if I have like two brothers that are, you know, a year or two apart, I'm still like to their dad, I'm like, hey, you know, we still have to keep these one-on-one because they're gonna have different songs that they want to learn, right? They're not going to both want to learn the exact same songs, right? And then of course they're both going to kind of grow at different paces, so you don't want to hold anybody back, right? So yeah, definitely people are little, and again, everybody has their, okay, well, they're stronger and maybe a rhythm part as opposed to, you know, maybe some sort of lead idea or something like that, or they grow a little bit faster in theory as opposed to the actual physical. But so yeah, everybody's just, you know, all over the map with type of thing.
Did they ask you, or any of your students ask you to help with writing any of their music?
A little bit. I mean, I've written my own book, so I always like, of course, I went to school for music for 3 years full time studying classical guitar, right? So, I mean, we just like analyzed both Beethoven and Bach and Mozart, you know, to death basically, because that's what they did. They studied what they did, you know, the masters, you know, and that's understanding chord progression, harmony, you know, structure. So being a schooled musician, I always bring that to my students as well. So I'm a big stickler on scales. Scales are like the first and foremost of everything, because everything in music is based off of scales, right? So I do a few scales always with people. And then in my book, like I said, I wrote a book about 3 or 4 years ago, just compiling my 20 years of teaching. And it has a little bit of song structure in there. Like, for instance, like a 1-4-5 progression. You know, every single song pretty much on the planet is based around a 1-4-5 progression. So I just kind of explain that element, and I tell all my students, this is songwriting 101. If you're going to go into a room with a bunch of writers, they know that, by like Taylor Swift, you know, all these huge artists, they know that like the back of their hand. You don't have to go, what's a 1-4-5 in the key of G? They just, that's second nature, right? So I try to bring that element to my students as well, so they have a foundation. So also, it helps them when they go to learn a song and then they see and recognize that 1-4-5 in the song, then they're like, oh, I see that there. And it helps them memorize it as well a lot easier. So yeah, for sure, get into that.
By the way, what's the name of your book?
It's called Your Guitar in Your Hands.
Your
Yeah,
guitar in your hands.
Your
Okay.
Guitar in Your Hands. So it's not officially published yet, but I definitely plan on it. But I just because I found throughout all the years that I was teaching, I just found I was writing of the same thing over and over and over. You know what I mean? I'm just like, why don't I just put this into a book, right? So then I just email it to every. As soon as somebody calls me up and they say, okay, we want to start up with you, I just say, okay, what's your email? I'll send you my book. Please print it out, and we'll go through that as well together.
Excellent. So
Yeah.
now in your class,
Mhm.
what's the age range?
Oh yeah, it's from like 7 to 70, you know, it's all over the map. I mean, the majority is probably teenagers, you know, definitely the majority, probably 70% is teenagers, but yeah, it's from 7 to 70. I mean, there's a lot of retired people that is like, hey, I've wanted to do this for so long,
Mhm.
you know, and now I finally kind of have the time to do it. So yeah, I mean, I don't think it doesn't matter what age you're at. It's whenever you want to start it. You know, I don't think it's, you know, too old, too young, or whatever to start learning an instrument. You know,
Too old is when you're dead.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, you're never. I mean, the time is now.
Yeah,
Period.
absolutely.
Right. Just do it now. You know, for sure.
I remember as a teenager, I did guitar for a little while, so
Okay.
taught myself, but
Yeah.
I didn't stick to it, you know, which was unfortunate, but just, you know, it's part of teenagehood, I suppose.
Yeah.
There was no incentive to keep going. I can't sing, I can't carry a tune, so it would just, you know,
Yeah.
but it just been acoustics. I mean, it just instrumental. Anyway, yeah. What else? I was going to ask you something else about.
Yeah, and on that note, I mean, like, you know, I don't knock any other teachers as well. You know what I mean? Like, everybody has their own approach. You know, some people are all different, you know, and I don't knock it at all. Like, everybody's got their own. But the thing is, like, I've had a lot of people come to me and they, you know, they've had lessons with someone else, or, you know, that type of thing, or they've had lessons with me and then they wanted to go try just something different, you know, and then they came back to me, you know. So it's just having that connection with the teacher, you know, and I think that's really in anything in life, you know, if you're going to learn karate or whatever it is, right? You know, there's 1,000 different dojos, you know, for instance, right? So it's the same with guitar teachers. So again, it's just whoever you can find that connection with. I think that's the most important thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, yeah.
Are there more males being in your class than females?
It's probably 50-50. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, I have a lot of, you know, younger teenage girls and stuff like that as well, equal with the guys. I mean, yeah, it's probably equal. I mean, some of these girls are just like, they just have this really innate rhythmic ability. Like, I have this like 9-year-old girl, she's 9 or 10, I think, maybe 10, but she's been with me for about 2 years.
Okay.
And she's like playing along with Taylor Swift. And, you know, she just got this really innate rhythmic ability, right? So sometimes girls really have that. I mean, obviously guys are, you know, a little bit more rugged type thing, right? But sometimes the girls, they just have that finesse about them as far as rhythm goes. So but everybody gets it, you know. Sure. Everybody. And that's the one thing that I have an approach with my teaching is I show everybody the chords, right? Make sure everybody learns their chords. Then we get into the rhythm. And then we start actually playing along with the song. So that's kind of my approach, right? And there's just a really, really fulfilling feeling when the students are playing along with the song and they know it, you know, all the structure and the chords. So it's a really cool feeling.
Yeah, I remember with my own kids, like I said, they wanted to learn the organ, which was fine. And then I noticed that, well, my son could play by ear, but the teacher would say, don't let him play by ear, let him learn the notes, you know?
Right. Yeah.
But anyway, both of them, well, my son especially is still not, now he's an adult, of course, and he's plays these, I don't even know what they call these great big long instruments where you make it up all these crazy sounds and stuff. But
cool.
Music always stayed in his head. Always.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I've had a lot of students that come to me and they've, you know, a little bit older, like an adult, you know, maybe 30s or 40s or whatever. And they just started with me, but they've had like, they played saxophone or trumpet or something in high school. So they still have that musicality about them, right? So they pick things up really quickly as well. So yeah, for sure. They still have that from reading notes and being part of the music class. They pick it up a lot quicker for sure.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things too I want to mention is like I used to be with the Optimist Club here in Chilliwack, and
Okay.
they used to give bursaries and whatever it is to the kids who were, in the mathematics or whatever like that. And then I thought, I suggested to them, and fortunately they did it, is why not, what about the kids who are musicians?
Yeah.
Singers, songwriters, they're not recognized the same way
Right.
as somebody who's in academics.
Yes.
But they still have that gift,
Yes, for
So
sure.
they started doing that, and it was just something wonderful to see these
Awesome.
fantastic artistic people, young people. And like you said, sometimes they're 10 years old or 13 years old. It's
for
like,
sure. Yeah.
they blew you away, right?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. They pick it up so quickly, right? So yeah. No, that's all. And if again, it's that teacher, right? If they connect with somebody, it really inspires them a lot, and I had that 10-year-old was just talking about, she's like, her mom said, oh, she had an earache all day yesterday and she didn't want to go to school, but she still wanted to come to guitar. That's like awesome, right?
Well, yeah.
So
Now,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, let's get back to your music for a second. Okay.
Yeah.
So do you have any performances coming up?
Yes, I do. I got a performance at the Princeton down in Vancouver this Sunday.
Okay.
And so, we do once a month down there. So that's a solo acoustic thing. So we got 3 artists, myself, Courtney Hunt, and then Elliot Way. So a couple awesome artists there. So Elliot's great kind of finger picking, little bit of a somber mood type thing, music, but all awesome originals, and just like he just captures you. He just gets your attention. He's really, really talented. And Courtney Hunt, she's awesome at doing solo acoustic as well, but she actually fronts a really big, popular top 40 cover band called Appaloosa. So she's got a really strong, powerful voice as well. So I'm looking forward to that. So we've been doing this for about 4 months now, once a month down here at the Princeton, and the audience really, really loves it, and it's building momentum. So that's a great thing.
Nice. Unfortunately, this won't air in time for this Sunday.
Okay. Yeah. No worries. No worries.
Since you're doing it once a month, then
once a month. Yeah, we're there. Yeah, for sure.
I will put your link.
And then of course on my website, TroyTomaMusic.com or Facebook, you can find me on there. Instagram, all the social media. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. And if you ever come out to Chilliwack performing, let me know.
Yeah, I will for sure. Absolutely. That's awesome. Yeah.
I've talked to other musicians about this. It would be so much fun to be there, have you perform, and then interview you afterwards.
That would be awesome. Let's line that up. I'm totally up for that. I have yet to perform actually in Chilliwack, so I would really love to. I know there's a huge music scene out there, and I know a lot of people that have come out this way to perform, and they're from Chilliwack and they do a lot of shows out there. So I definitely would love to do a show out there, and then we could do an interview right after. That'd be great.
I love the in-person interview. It's totally different. As you said, it's totally different vibe.
Yes.
Person, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, we're just about out of time, but just stay on camera while I say goodbye to the audience.
Okay.
So everybody, this has been Tony Toma, and I'm going to include his information. If you want to
Troy Toma.
Troy, I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay.
I'm looking at your name right here on my tablet.
It's all good. I get that a lot. Tony, no, it's Troy. It's all good.
Troy Toma, people.
It's all good.
Another one of my creative glitches.
Yeah, that's all good. It's all good. Yeah.
Anyway, everybody, I hope you have a good Easter. Which for me means chocolate. If I don't have any chocolate, I'll be very unhappy. But I hope you all do have a great weekend, and take care, and peace out, everyone.
Peace out. Yeah.
A sense of community, Chilliwack's a place to be. A sense of community where you're free. Rolling through the mountains, rolling through the valley, rolling through paradise with me. It's multicultural, you're sure to see it all. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see. Come party in the park, go dancing after dark. Chilliwack's the place to be, you'll see.